All right, so I'm just gonna give this a go. This is a 1995 240SX with an rb25. It came to me with kind of just like a weird turbo manifold, a weird turbo setup that really wasn't gonna work for what this guy was using it for. So I'm swapping the turbo manifold, building a downpipe, recirculating the wastegate into the exhaust so it's not like a screamer pipe, and doing all the associated stuff to that, charge pipes as well. So I have to get the bumper off and do that sort of deal. So I'm gonna film that, turn the camera around, and you can check that out. So this is the engine. Obviously it's an rb25 out of an R32 GTR Skyline or something fancy like that. I'd kind of already started working on this. I wish I would have kind of shown that first. This manifold fit great. It's from Future Fabrication. I have one on my other car as well. This is a Vband manifold. Anyways, these cylinder heads are really notorious for cross-threading or breaking studs off. So somebody has gone in and replaced three, I think maybe four of the studs. So I had to open up four of the holes on the manifold to get this thing to fit on here. It fits great otherwise. But we're going to be replacing the turbine housing for a Vband one, so you don't have to worry about bolts coming out, and going from a dual wastegate system to a singular Tial MVR. Gonna build the downpipe in a way that the booster can stay in here. I'm not really sure how that guy's gonna live there. So we'll kind of cross that road when we get there. Just need to get this thing together and kind of retuned. And top of all of that stuff, I'm gonna be changing all the intercooler piping and kind of maybe possibly remounting the intercooler if that turns out not to be great. But I have to get the bumper off and do all that sort of a deal. General rule of thumb, you like to use one coupler at the source, so one at the turbo, one at the intercooler, one at the intake, one at the other side of the intercooler. In the event that just less opportunity for boost leak and it's just a better quality part. Also, a goal is to be able to pull the piping out of the car while it's on the ground. So try to always do that on everything, whether it's drifting, road racing, or even driving the car on the street. Doesn't matter. That'll kind of keep you much easier to be able to diagnose what's going on and all that. So, all right. So here's the manifold that was previously on the car. There's a dual wastegate manifold, twin scroll, divided, super nice. Just manifold really wasn't going to work with a booster and steering shaft being on the left-hand side or the driver's side, as that engine was kind of designed for a right-hand drive car originally. So this is a 8.2 AR exhaust housing that was on the car. Here's this horrible downpipe that was on it. Just wanted to put that in there. Overall, just like the spacing will be better with the new manifold, and you won't have to have the worry for like the dual gate setup. Just not a lot of room for the piping for those or dump tubes for that. So on the new stuff, we sized down the AR on the turbo to a weird like 0.67. It's like a weird size for a GT35 frame. But the package is overall smaller and it fits in that space better. Oh my God. And fits next to the valve cover better and all that stuff. And then this is all the parts for the exhaust and downpipe. Much nicer quality than that right there. I don't know why people do stuff like this, honestly. It's like, that's like a $2,500 turbo or whatever it is. And then you got that hooked to it. Just disrespectful. So this is the inlet, a Vband, Tial Sports, exit for downpipe, wastegate, flange, big wastegate. It's a 50 mil. Borla XR1 sportsman muffler, the best muffler out there. Not the prettiest case, but really like the way those sound. SR or RB, done both, and have some on JZs. They sound sweet. And then downpipe, Vband, accordion, associated bands, probably need some stuff. I use these are stainless works hangers. See them on like hot rods and stuff. Starting to see a lot more people use these. Quick way to get a nice hanger set up. And then this is going to be the exhaust exit with some like pie cuts. I hate using pie cuts, only for the exhaust exit. And then those are the straights. So I'm going to put that turbo on the Schwip here, and then kind of show you what I'm gonna do with the wastegate dump, which we're gonna recirculate into the exhaust. So, all right, All right, so I'm standing on a ladder now. I've got the car like lifted with like the exhaust under it. Kind of a little bit of a lull in the video where I've got the turbo mounted and the downpipe all built, and I'm going to show you kind of why I did certain things to get this thing to work out. Then I'm going to show you how the wastegate is going to recirculate into the downpipe instead of being atmospheric and just being extremely loud. So I'm going to flip it around and then talk about the turbo a little bit more. So here is the turbo mounted to the manifold. As you can see, pretty tight tolerances. That fits through that steering shaft there. That was kind of tricky. The car doesn't have a brake booster, like I said earlier, so I was trying to leave space for an addition of that later on. Again, before anybody wants to talk smack about the turbo sizing and stuff, I think want to address that. The customer does not want to go for high horsepower stuff. This is a quick spool, like very linear street car. This thing's gonna spool like super crazy fast. I don't think it's gonna fall off on the top end super hard with what we got going on here. And we'll just see what happens with it. In the event he wants to go up in AR size, it's as simply as just bolting another housing on, and it's way easier because it's V-band and stuff. So you can swap that pretty easily. So the wastegate is going to have to do a 180 up this way, like this, and then go somewhere in here like there. It's gonna be really weird. I'm gonna put a little accordion in it and a V-band. Kind of waiting for the parts on that. Really tricky with the way the world is now on smaller exhaust tubing and stuff. Been having issues getting stuff. So that's that. I'm gonna walk down the ladder and do a little from down low. Kind of got this going on here where I got to figure that out. But yeah, so fits through the steering shaft and all that stuff. Yeah, good clearance, misses that runner, all that stuff. Nice accordion, V-band, and then working our way that way. So hopefully we should have this thing wrapped up and be able to do some chin-ups on it. So post that later. All right, so on the exhaust portion, I don't like using any bends that are more than like 90 degrees. Kind of, sort of, on the downpipe, it's like a 90. It's got like a weird 60 slash cut, pie cut thing to get it level with the ground, to get it, you know, coming out this direction. But I see a lot of people like will build exhaust on these cars where they'll go like straight here and then do like a hard ass 90 and go this way or whichever way because I'm inverted, and then the car sounds like it's got like a weird flutter when you're on the boost and stuff, where it makes like trumpet noises. Don't do that. Smooth it out. Run like 45s. This is going to be like probably like a 20 something degree bend right here, so really smooth. And then back here, we're gonna send it 45 upwards really hard, and then a 45, maybe a little pie cut to get it going out that ways. So you never make it do a hard 90. I've done that on other cars with like blast pipes and stuff and gotten away with it on smaller displacement stuff. But sometimes when you do the hard 90s, cars are really harsh reverb that like, one, just sounds horrible and it doesn't sound smooth at all. So when you're doing custom exhaust, you try to make everything as straight as possible. You don't want to have, you don't want to be doing 90 degree bends anywhere, stacking 290s back to back to get jammed up. Means you didn't design it right. So on that note, I'm gonna get this built and then I'll show you the downpipe when it's pulled out and kind of how it twists and bends and stuff, and hopefully it inspires people to do better stuff. So. All right, so I've got the exhaust finished, welded. This is the way the exit worked out. Pretty happy with it, pretty neat look, very JDM, Japanese, cool stuff. Saw some stuff like this when I was over there, so that was cool. A lot of neat stuff. Anyways, little short runner section with the hanger offset, so it's kind of pulling the exhaust over there, and then the lead hanger is opposite of that. 45s up, lots of clearance. Notch the subframe just a little bit to kind of get it up, so it's not the lowest thing back here. Yeah, I'll kind of do this video out. It's kind of sucky light under here, but yeah, maybe my camera's dirty. I don't know, hold on. All right, we'll try that. No, it's just the light in here. Okay, and kind of smooths out. Goes up like that right there. So got all that done. All right, so now I'm gonna get onto the wastegate, kind of like I rambled earlier about it kind of being its own system and going back down into the downpipe. Really neat way to do it. I don't ever usually do that. Normally it's atmospheric, so it's super loud, but this is an adult's car, so we can't have that. But yeah, pretty good stuff. I'm gonna do one more little walkthrough of that, because why not?
Yeah, how that's gonna look, but this is the test.
Okay, so this will probably kind of be the final deal. I'll video when it's finished welded, but that's what I ended up doing with the wastegate. It's two pieces, this accordion, V-band, flange connection there. This will get obviously welded there, but a pretty tight deal. Still have plenty of clearance for the booster and all that stuff later on, but really neat. It's pretty intimidating, actually. But yeah, should be plenty of room for the wastegate line to go under there, vacuum source and all that, but just kind of a neat project for sure. Have never done one like this, so that's that. Had to use two 90s for this that were like a tighter radius than a 180 hoop, which is like a 3.5-inch radius, which was too big. So that is that. Okay, all right, and I'll catch y'all on the next one probably. All right, bye. So this will be the last video for the YouTubes here. Just wanted to show the wastegate being completely finished welded, or the wastegate recirculation setup. The car needs retuned, otherwise I would run it. Redid charge pipes, brand new intercooler. Super happy with it. We're gonna get all that stuff powder coated, get all the right clamps, and then get this thing dynoed. So we'll be back up and running. I think if you watch this far, I think I called this a 35 frame originally in the video. It is a GT30 frame, actually. It's a 3076 with a 6.4 AR V-band rear housing. So should spool very quickly. Excited to hear what this thing sounds like. I believe it to gonna be really raspy with the ram horn style manifold. So on that note, this is it. I will probably maybe do another video on something soon, as there is all kinds of other crappy cars in here that need done, and my drift car. So, all right, thank you guys, and have a awesome day. Bye.